think they're connected. And this one's a little bit older, but it's a University of Ottawa professor, Omar Attaran. He's looking to take the Ontario government and the Ontario healthcare system. LIlley and Coke is in Nova Scotia. Omar Attaran is in Ottawa, wants to take the Ontario government to the Human Rights Commission because they won't pay for in vitro fertilization treatment for he and his wife. He's in his early 40s, she's in her late 30s. They've had trouble conceiving. She apparently has a medical condition, and they say, look, they should be paying for this. We shouldn't have to pay out of pocket. What do you think? You know what?
There's nothing more sad than a couple that is having trouble having a baby, and I tremendously sympathize. I'm familiar with Professor Attaran. I've debated him before, but I think, again, I know Professor Attaran. No, he's a professor at university. He is both a doctor and a lawyer. Talk about a high-income earning guy. And, you know, I think he's got a case of entitlemania too. I mean, for an extremely he's probably in the top 1% or even 0.5% of income earners. He's very, he's got the ability to buy things. And for him to ask the taxpayer to subsidize an experimental or obscure or, extremely expensive medical procedure. I mean, again, I totally sympathize with him, and I hope he is able to conceive. But I don't think that Tommy Douglas thought that taking care of catastrophic care, you got a heart attack, you've got leprosy or something genuinely correct. I don't think it was for these elective or add-ons, and I think we've got to get away from looking to the government first. I think we should find a place for complementary insurance. Sure, fine. Let's accept that the government will be a safety net for those who truly fall off. But why don't we allow people to buy private insurance for these add-ons, for these extra things?
This you can already pay for by yourself. That's how most couples do it. But their argument is that some people have it paid for and some don't. I want to bring up a quote from Professor Attaran right now, and I'll read it to you, and we'll get your comments on that before we let you go. He told the National Post a little while ago, he says, obviously, it would not make sense to finance IVF, in vitro fertilization, for a 60-year-old couple, so there are natural limits on it. What we're advocating is that when your doctor prescribes it because it is medically necessary, that it should be paid for equitably, not for some, not for others. Is in vitro fertilization medically necessary, or are there other options, whether it's paying for it for yourself, not having children, as some couples don't, or adopting?
Absolutely. It is not medically necessary. It's something that people would like to have, but people would like to have a lot of things. I'd like a free nose job. That's not medically necessary. And who is Professor Attaran to say 60-year-old is a cutoff? I mean, I'm sure if someone's 59, they'd like that arbitrary cutoff.
Well, we saw that in Spain a little while ago. Yeah. A woman well into her 60s having twins.
And I just think that this is the slippery slope. If you let government have dominion over your body, which we do in this country, not just in terms of demanding health care, but all of a sudden the government can tell us what we can or can't eat and drink, the nanny state, I think we have to de-merge our bodies and the state. We have to get the government out of our personal affairs. They shouldn't tell us what we can eat, drink, smoke, or things like that. And by the same token, not only should we have more power over our bodies, we should have more responsibility. In life, authority or power and responsibility have to go together. And the problem with these two cases of the fat woman, and I speak as a fellow fatty, and Professor Attaran, is that they want the power over their lives. They want to eat what they want. They want to have these procedures that they want, but they don't want the responsibility for it. Folks, you can't pick and choose. Let every one of us be the boss of our own lives. Fine, let's have a safety net for truly catastrophic care. But if we want experimental or elective or optional surgeries, we should pay for it or buy some private insurance.
And now you're sounding like a radical, and that's why we love you, Ezra.
I think Tommy Douglas would agree with me. If he were here, he would not countenance this being done in his name. He would call it luxurious and taking advantage. I really think he would.
All right, Ezra, thank you.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Lots more Straight Talk coming your way.